your own control. Politicians and celebrities make deals behind closed doors, promises broken, and their income soars. Hidden agendas run the grand parade. In the circus, choose to masquerade. Believe me, I wouldn't lie. I've been given money, power, and fame to keep you in line.
Welcome. Today we will be hanging out and we are going to be talking first about brainwashing yourself for success. I saw this clip from this guy. I think he's like worked for training the CIA or something like that. I forgot. Sorry, I forgot the full story. But anyways, he trains people in government, stuff like that, like whatever, how to do stuff with psychology and all this stuff. And he had a really good technique for brainwashing yourself. It's something that you can do if you want to do something to be more successful in some area of your life. So I thought it was pretty cool. So we're going to go through that. I have a few other clips, and then we're going to end it with responding to this guy's video where he's talking about no friends, no girlfriend, no social life. And it's like a very popular thing that everybody's sharing online. They're talking about how, like, you know, the world is different now. People don't have the social life and the social circles that they once had. And things are starting to like come to a head where we're realizing like everything that we were promised when we were young is no longer there for us. So let's get into it. So first, we are going to be talking about, oh yes, this is good. Yeah, I really like that thing that he did. So glad you guys liked it. If you're in the Discord, sometimes I share weird things that I find on the internet, and sometimes people like it. Sometimes people think it's like crazy, and that's fine. So whatever. Anyways, we are going to get into it. So first, I want to listen to what he has to say, and then we'll talk about like an example. Like I'll give one of my examples so that you could see how I would apply his techniques to me. I have two different videos where he kind of talks about the same thing, but like gives you different angles about it. So let's get into that. Okay.
And if you follow the brainwashing formula, which is focus, emotion, agitation, and repetition, it spells fear. And that is the best way to brainwash yourself to form these new habits and goals. So how can I get myself to focus? How can I build the emotion, which is the why? Recurring emotion, not just one at the very beginning. How can I continue to make it emotional? Or maybe I can make the cost of inaction emotional. Maybe I can buy the app that makes me look fat, or one of those things. And then agitation is if I'm waking up at the same house every day that I've been fat in, let's say I wanted to lose weight or whatever, the same house every day that I've lived X way in, I'm seeing the same hallway, same rug, same couch, everything looks the same. My brain says, oh, I'm here, I'm going to follow that script, because our brain writes scripts for us to save us time. So agitation means I'm going to disrupt my environment so much and so often that my brain has no chance to default to an older script. So I have clients that repaint their house, they rearrange their furniture, they change up their wardrobe a whole lot, they get a completely new haircut so they're not even looking at the same person in the mirror anymore. They do everything you can to disrupt that rhythm. It's exactly what we would do with a detainee if we were trying to brainwash someone who is in an intelligence interrogation. So I'm disrupting environment like crazy. And what will we do with a dog? Are we going to let it do everything it's always done? Or are we going to change that environment? We're going to change the behavior, change the leash, change the collar. So it's not everything exactly the same. And then repetition.
Repetition, which is just repeating the same thing
over and over.
Again.
So like if even
Sorry, guys. So anyways, so like I was going to say, so let's say you wanted to lose weight or you wanted to start a workout habit before you left the house. I know. So what you're going to do is using this method, first thing you have to do, what I think is the first thing you have to do is you got to really change your environment if you want to change your habits and change your life. So this is like my favorite thing that he said, because it makes so much sense. Like imagine like when you're on vacation, you're not going to do the same stupid crap that you do when you are home. When you're home, you have a routine based on like what you've always done, and the body will go to like default mode and it won't let you really override your habits and actions with willpower. Willpower is kind of like a fake thing that somebody invented. Nobody has willpower. Willpower doesn't really exist. So what you have to really do is change your environment, I would say first, and then you can do the other things. So the first thing that I would do after listening to, actually, I think both of the clips, they give you different like ways to do the same thing. So the first thing I would do is I would make a vision board type of thing of what I wanted. Let's stick to the easiest basic one of you want to work out and get like a good physique. Everybody wants to do that. Even if you have one, it could still be better, right? You know, you always want to be healthy and you always want to work out. Everybody needs to. We have to do it. It sucks to do it. We got to do it anyways. So what we're going to do is we're going to create the vision board. Maybe we get on like one of these AI apps that I like to use for my pictures, for my thumbnails, whatever. And we're going to put ourselves in a fit body that is attainable for our age. Be realistic. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to put that up. We're going to look at that. We're going to envision what the life would be with the new body, with the new habits that you have to do to, like, I'm this new person with this body. So what does this person do? Well, this person probably eats something healthy and then goes for a jog around the neighborhood, listening to like some motivational podcast or speechers, God no, David Goggins, whatever you guys are into, right? So get on there. Yes, you can use Canva too. I think that they let you do that. I don't know if they have like an AI feature for like your own photos, but I think it's called Damina. Maybe I'm wrong with how it's spelled. Damina, something like that. It's like from the CapCut people. That's what I use. It's free because, you know, I want to spend money. All right. So you put your picture in there. You see what you will look like with the realistic results, right? And then the other thing that everybody forgets to do that you need to do science-backed is you have to do the worst case scenario of what would happen to you if you did not do the other thing. So you have to show compare and contrast to your brain, right? Because your brain doesn't go towards what it wants. It avoids what it doesn't want. See? This is the science part. So you're going to have your vision board of what you want with your perfect self and your perfect life all planned out, right? And your habits and everything. I'm gonna be one of those people that takes my laptop to a coffee shop and I sit over there and whatever every day. Like I'm gonna be one of those people. And then I'm gonna go for a walk in the park after, and maybe in this future self of like me where I'm living my best life, maybe I get like a cute dog. So then people come up to me to like hang out with me and the cute dog, and I use that to make friends. I'm not a dog person, but like, you know, that's an example, right? But then you have to have the absolute like image that's going to terrify you to the bone. This needs to be horrific to you. And this needs to be very, very like visceral in your body. You need to feel how horrific it would feel to like be like this. So like a good thing, if you have like aging parents or grandparents and like they didn't take care of themselves, this is an excellent picture to base your fear self off of. Just be like, if I don't do X, Y, Z, whatever, then I'm going to end up like these people. And then put yourself in that body with AI. Like, oh my gosh, it's so terrible. I can't get up. I can't move. I need a walker. My bone density is like, I'm snapping my hip. Now I'm bedridden. Now I have to count on people to take care of me. Who's going to take care of me? How much is this going to cost? Like, put the horrific stuff on your anti-vision board, like, guess, you know, you have the vision board and then you have the trauma board. Let's call it the trauma board. So this is the trauma avoidance technique, and this is going to help you really get the extra nudge that you need to be successful. So we're going to do that, right? So, and you're going to keep it someplace you look at all the time, both of them side by side. So you're constantly reminded of, I could have this and I don't want this. You need both, because fear with no direction is just anxiety and stress, and it's going to make you sick. But if you have fear plus you have direction, it's going to focus you towards that, right? Laser focused. Okay, that's what we're doing. Next step you're going to do after you have your vision boards is you are going to change your environment somehow. So one thing you could do is change the direction your bed is facing, change like where you sit every morning for breakfast. Let's say you have a dining table with 4 chairs and you always sit on this chair. You're going to sit on the opposite chair because now you're the type of person who eats different types of foods. So you have to sit in a new spot. Maybe you always sat at the couch watching TV or at the computer watching TV, like, oh, those are. And instead of doing that, you're going to take the food and you're going to go and sit on your balcony. You're going to go sit at, your front step outside. You're going to sit under a tree, next to your house or next to your apartment building, whatever, like who cares? You're just going to do that. You're going to change your environment dramatically, right? When you change the environment dramatically, when you're in a new place or when your mind is like, this is different, it's not going to go to your default mode. So all the bad habits that you've already accumulated, like, I'm gonna eat dinner. Let's take the plate to the computer. Let's take the plate to the TV. Let's take the plate to this spot where I just sit here and do nothing or whatever, right? You want to break that, and you break that quickly when you change your environment's looks. So we have our trauma board, our vision board. We've changed our environment. We are moving our body to a different location to do basic things, right? Maybe there's 2 bathrooms in your house. You always get ready in this one. Now you're getting ready in the other one. You're switching it up. You're changing it. Like, switch where you sit every couple days. Like, do not get into a bad habit. The second you'll see yourself developing a bad habit, switch where you're going to do stuff. Maybe you walk in this park. Maybe when you walk in that park the last time, there was a bench and you just sat there. You didn't walk around enough. And you want to switch that up. Go to another park that doesn't have a bench. Switch things and keep things when you have the good habit at that location, right? So that's the big thing that we can do. And I've never heard of this before, so I want to share it with you guys because I thought it was like the coolest mind game you can play. And yeah, we really need to be doing stuff like that to change because of what I want to talk to you guys next. This is kind of a scary thing that's coming up online. We are having a lot of dead internet coming. So that means we have fakeness everywhere on the internet. We don't know what's real. We don't know who to trust, who to believe. So I think we're at the point already where if you are not like a famous, influential person anymore, like if you haven't already made it, it's going to be really hard to prove that you're not like an AI bot. So there's a lot of people who got famous off of like fitness influencers, health influencers, whatever. And they would just show their lifestyle and blah, 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 their workouts, and they would sell courses and make tons of money, right? Like the hotter they were, the more money they would make. But now we have this. Okay. So we're going to look at this. I want you to see how crazy this is.
A fitness influencer against her will. First, I'm taking one still image and uploading it into Google's Nano Banana. From there, I'll have it make images of her in a gym, both standing still and doing different exercises. Then I'll take each one of those images and upload it to Gronk, where I can transform those images into quick videos of her doing each exercise. After that, I'll write a quick script in 11 labs to make the voiceover. Drop that in the CapCut along with the images I made, and in just a few minutes, I made her first fitness video.
Que lo que mi gente. Here's a quick workout to help you build up that butt. First, barbell back squats. 4 sets of 5 because they build the most overall leg strength and I need to be fresh for them. Second, hip thrust. 4 sets of 8 for max glute squeeze without wrecking my lower back. Third, Bulgarian split squats. 3 sets of 10 each leg to fix imbalances and light up glutes and quads. Hit the
All right. So basically, when you see, this is the world we live in now. So this is a chick that has never worked out in her life, and she could be an AI fitness influencer. And this is bad, you guys. This is really bad because, first of all, they're just selling you like the worst tasting snake oil you could ever imagine. And that's why, like, I feel like we're going to enter a phase where nobody trusts influencers anymore. Like, I think the days of like you could become an influencer and you could like make lots of money and sell your course or your whatever downloadable PDFs or whatever it was. I think like those days are going to end. Now, I'm not saying like you're not going to be able to do anything like that. I do feel like in-person stuff is always going to sell. People need community now more than ever. But like stuff like this, like online stuff, it is not going to work anymore, you guys, because it's all so much is so fake and nothing is real. Plus, okay, I'll just tell you guys some stories. So I used to work with influencers. Y'all know that. And there was a bunch that were fitness influencers. And now this is of course like 10 years ago or whatever. I was way more fit than them and I never worked out. So I have no idea. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't want to be mean or anything, but like they were not fit in person. Is that mean? I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just like, hopefully they don't watch this ever, but you know how it is. Look, not all of them were as fit as they portrayed themselves on the internet, okay? So it seems to be like a pretty big problem where these so-called fitness influencers are not even fit. They're not even remotely fit, okay? Me, who never worked out at the time, was way tinier than them. And then when they would take pictures, they would just edit the crap out of them. And nobody knows any better because you don't know these people online. You don't see them in person. So I think we're kind of getting to the point where we're done with that. And I don't know if this is true, but I heard that like a bunch of famous influencers, I think like Candace Owens and some other people, they're saying that they're not going to be on platforms like short form social media platforms anymore, like the TikTok and the Instagram, because there's so much bots there and they're feeling like there's no real people in the comments. That like when you go look at these people who make the comments, it's just like bots from like whatever like government organization or like paid ops or whatever, or maybe like a competitor. And it's just like, you know, bots everywhere. Like we're looking at comments every time like somebody makes like a stupid post and I see a stupid comment, I'm like, let's see who this person is. And they're always fake people. You can tell when they're fake because it's like there's just like one brand that they're talking crap about or something. It's just like, it's really bad. I don't think most of it's real online anymore. So we are going to have a problem with these short form influencers. You're going to have to do more work, guys. All right. And this is just something cute that I found. Like we're going to take a little break. This is something I didn't know you can do.
Naturally creates this custardy, heartwarming dessert that melts in your mouth. I had it in Shanghai.
Okay, so I just saw this online and I made this the other night and it was actually, it works, which is wild. So I got real ginger and I grated it and then I like strained all the juice out into like a little dish. And then I poured some like warm milk on it, and then you just let it sit without moving it, and you wait a few minutes. And let me turn the volume off and show you guys. And you just wait a few minutes, and I'm telling you, it turns into this like custardy thing. It's wild. It is and it's like ginger is so good for you. And it's better than just having like ginger tea because you get bored of that stuff sometimes. Sometimes you want to like a little variety, and the texture is so nice. It's like a flan type texture. Oh, I just really liked it. Look at that. And it works. It works. Okay. That's just something I want to share with you guys because it's a healthy snack. And I did it myself and it actually works. And it's a good thing to do before you go to bed or something like that. And this... Okay, so anyways, that being said, let's react to this dude who is talking about how how most people have like no friends, no social life and stuff like that. So like, let's see what he has to say. Because it's a very popular, I've seen a lot of, some of them are brand new creators, and like the first video that they do is like, life is, this is my life. And like, we're all kind of watching a lot of people talk about how we had the rise of the influencer with the fake life, the fake, sports car that they rented, and the fake mansion that they rented, and like the fake jet that was like a set that they rented to take a picture of or whatever. What are you doing? Aren't you with your friends? Oh my gosh. Anyway, so we're moving on from the fake. We're moving on from that. And let's hear what he has to say.
Channel. I am going to make this video make perfect sense. And I swear to God, bro, this is probably going to be the most on point thing you guys have ever heard me say in this video. When you're at a position in your life where you have no girlfriend, no friends, no social life, nothing, or maybe like a single friend, maybe like a very, very few amount of people, bare, like maximum, like next to nothing. Here's the truth. You have the opportunity to be at your best. You have the opportunity during this time to spiritually and mentally lock into a whole different level than you ever have. You're going to find things out about yourself. You're going to find things out about the world. It's almost like the world is like in this big circle or this big box, let's say. You're like the odd guy or girl, whichever you are, standing outside of that box, looking in at what everybody else is doing. You can see what everybody else is doing, and you can see the mistakes everyone's making when you do decide to look in. When you're outside of the box, when you're outside of the norm, this is where real life is actually happening, because this box is a whole bunch of hocus pocus bullshit. The way people act with one another is just fake. For the most part, friends are fake. For the most part, people's relationships are all fake. And it's just all for social media. Think about the last relationship you were in. You guys posted pictures, right? You guys made it seem like everything is so happy and good, right? You guys are making these moments and these memories, right? And then look what happened. It's all done. So was it real? I'm telling you, bro, you have an opportunity that almost nobody else has. When you're at a point in your life where you have little to no friends, no girlfriend, no social life, no nothing. A social life is poison. A social life is a bunch of bullshit. I'm also going to tell you guys something. Whenever I went out and about over summer, which I went out quite a bit, didn't drink a whole lot, but I went out a bit. There were some fine nights, sure. There was something inside myself, bro. Yes, I talk to people. Yes, I socialize with people, but it's like, man, the whole time I only wanted to talk to certain select people. I just didn't care about majority of people. And this is because my internals are telling me something. Bro, it's a waste of life. It's a waste of energy. Just connecting with every single person that you see, it's a waste. And I find myself being the type of person that a lot of people want to talk to, but I don't want to talk to a lot of people. And it's not even because I just think I'm better than everybody and all this kind of stuff. It's just how I am. It's what I know. Like, you can tell where other people are at when you're conversating with other people, bro. So it's like, I don't have much interest in talking to somebody that I've outgrown 100 years advanced ahead. I don't know, man. Like, socialize for what?
Oh my God. Go hang out with your friends. What are you doing here? But cheek, I swear to God.
Socialize with who? For what? For what? Just for nothing? Just to talk? Like, I have no interest in doing that. What I do have interest in is talking to some real ones, talking to some attractive women. That's going to give you something of what you're looking for. But just talk to just whoever. I know people like that, bro, and they're absolutely nowhere in life. Socializing is a bunch of bullshit. There's a reason you don't want to socialize that much. It's probably because you're more intelligent than the average person who just wants to talk to everybody. What they're doing, bro, is they're living through everybody because they don't have a real self-identity. That is why they want to socialize so much, because they have to. They can't think for themselves. They can't socialize with themselves. So they have to connect their self to somebody, to talk to somebody, to even feel like they exist, because they're nobody. They can't just be by themselves. You ever see that really popular guy who just gets around everybody and all this kind of stuff? You catch him alone, he's a fucking nobody. He's somebody around everyone. He's nobody by himself. Be the man who is somebody by himself. Be that guy. That is far more valuable than the guy who is somebody around the popular people or whatever the hell's going on, and who is nobody by himself. That's not who you want to be, because you don't have a real self-identity. Let's get to the girlfriend part. Is it really a flex to just have a girlfriend to have a girlfriend? The answer is no. Most women are a walking liability. It is very rare to have a good woman by your side. Very, very rare. Extremely rare. Look at the history of your life. The history of my life with friends, I have given so much more to the people that was around than I've ever received. And I'm 100% in serious. 100%. There's very few friends I've ever had that actually given me any amount of value. I'm always the one giving all the value. I'm always the one keeping everything going. I'm always the one with the strength. I'm always the one giving people things through the drive-thru when we drive through a drive-thru. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying no friends has never done a single thing. What I am saying is I'm always the one to give more. Always. Always, 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 always. So, Usually in life, when I had more of girls around, more friends, more of a social life, I was at my worst. I wasn't at my best because people take from me. You put my back against the wall, there's less friends around, there's less women around, I have less of a social life, I'm at my best. Why is that? Because everyone around is take. This is powerful, guys. I want this to wake you guys stuff up. I hope this can put you on a quest in life that can just better your life so much that it's not even funny. You have to live life to learn, bro. And all this kind of stuff, sometimes you do go through life. And you do live that monk mode type of life where it's kind of just you and God. But then you start to question, should I have more friends around? Should I have a woman around? Should I have more of a social life? Should I have more of this? And then you start to get into that stuff a little bit. And you start to not feel like yourself. You feel like you're being taken from. You feel like you're being robbed. There's a reason I got away from friends a long, long time ago. When I used to have a whole bunch of friends in school and stuff like this, and like a year or two after, there's a reason I slowly got away from friends. It's because it's like, bro, I'm like the leader of the pack. I'm the one having all the value. I'm the one making things go around. And then you start to get betrayed. And then you start to get stolen from. And then you just kind of lose friends here and there. And then it's just like you start to see the truth. So as I got away from a majority of people a long, long time ago, my life, my personal life started to get a lot better. And that's when a lot of people start to hate because you're making your own life better. You're not making their lives better. You're making your life better. And you know what? As far as I'm concerned, that's the biggest factor. And that's what matters the most. I'm telling you guys, man. I'm telling you guys. You got to wake up to this shit. There's a reason I did a whole hell of a long time ago. There's a reason I did. And there's a reason I'm at where I'm at today. And you can never get away from what got you to the dance. In 2024, I went through a breakup at the end of the year. I had a girl in my life for a while. And you know what happened?
Maybe. But I mean, I can understand some of the things he's talking about. Like, I don't know about you guys. Have you ever like had a big group of friends? Maybe you met them when you were very young, you're in middle school, you're in high school, whatever, and you just kind of like keep the same group around. But then some of them fall into bad habits. Maybe they become druggies. Maybe they become like kind of lazy and losers and they don't want to do anything with their life and they just want to be maybe like black pilled or they just want to complain. And I understand like sometimes you're the one who's like trying. You're the one who's like trying to better yourself in life. You're the one who's out there, going to like a good college, trying to get a decent job, trying to, network and advance your career. And they're just kind of like dragging you down. And every time you have a good idea or something that you want to do, they kind of just like poo-poo it. Like they're like, oh, well, you try so hard. Why do you want to try so hard? Or like the girls version. Let me give you guys the girls version. The girls version is you want to get married and have kids. And they're like, no, why would you want to do that? You're so young and hot and you should be like throwing it around and we should be having fun. Or like, let's go on a yacht. And it's like, what? Like these things happen to your guy groups, your girl groups, your mixed groups. Like it's just like there'll be people. And I like to call them, let's say, monitoring spirits, where they will try to pull you to do bad stuff that is against your morals, against your goals in life. That's a big one. Like the biggest one, the biggest one is when you hang out with people and they're trying to take you away from your goals by usually making fun of you. Oh, you want to have a family? What a loser. Oh my God. You want to do that? Oh, so like all you care about is like guys? Don't you want to be like super rich? Or whatever it is, whatever the guy version of that. Like, oh, you don't want to bang random skanks? You want to have a wife and kids and a family? Bro, like we could do that later. We'll just like pay a young girl when we're like elderly to divorce or something. Like whatever like the fantasy that they're trying to sell you is. It's always a lie. It's always to keep you away from your actual purpose, what would actually make you happy, what you actually want to do in life. And it's not always easy. And the fact is, a lot of times when you want to do something good for yourself in life, you will be alone for a good stretch of it. There's this podcaster, podcaster. I think his name is Chris Williamson. He talks about something called the lonely chapter. That's when you go, like for him, he was like a club promoter, around a lot of skanks, and he's like wasting his life. He's getting older. He's starting to age out of the whole club promotion thing. And he's like, what am I going to do with my life? And then, he does other things and then he gets success by that way. But in order for him to do that, he had to first realize he's wasting time. None of this is what he wants. He doesn't want to be, a old man skank. He doesn't want that. He wants to have like some like intellectual type of conversations that you can't have in the club. And he wants to have maybe a family and kids. I don't know if he wants to have a family and kids for real, because like he's still not married. But we'll see. But basically he wanted to do better for himself. He didn't want to just be this. And all his friends, of course, they want him to continue to just be that, because his friends, maybe like they want to get into the club. They want to keep trying, to get more and more. And instead of just like realizing you need to have a goal in life, and sometimes you have to do the goal completely by yourself. So I understand in every person's life, you're going to reach a point where you're like, I want to do something, and everybody I've surrounded myself is the problem stopping me from doing what I want to do. And you have to like be strong enough to like say, no, I'm not going to go hang out tonight. No, I'm not going to go do whatever stupid crap you want. Oh, you're going to try to guilt trip me? I don't care. Oh, you're going to make fun of my goals? I don't care anymore. And it is something that also happens with family members. It's not just friends who are going to do it. It's going to be family members. It's going to be like Mini Cat's my biggest hater. It's going to be like everybody. They're always going to poo-poo whenever you do something. And then, of course, whenever you reach your goals, if they're still around for whatever reason, it's going to be I always knew you were going to be a success. I always knew. And it's like, really? So get used to cutting people out when they prevent you from reaching your goals in life. And yeah, I see a lot of people posting stuff like that. Like, I don't have friends, I don't have this, because they're all kind of pulling you down. So do you really want dead weight? Do you want to be with someone, like girl or guy, if that's pulling you down, making you feel bad, telling you you're not good enough, or like trying to keep you from being your best self? No, of course you don't want that. So I can understand why all these people are complaining. And when you're in it, when you're in the transition phase where you want something, but you don't qualify for that thing yet because you're working on yourself to get the thing, that's a lonely time, and it's totally normal. This is a normal thing that has happened from generation to generations before. So yeah, what is this? Okay. Yeah, work people. Of course, yeah, of course. When you work in a company, if you try to move up, everybody's going to attack you and sabotage you. Let me tell you about working corporate life. The biggest saboteurs of success are your coworkers and maybe your boss directly above you. These people, like, they want to keep you in your spot, which is wherever they're comfortable with you. They don't want you to move up. So, yes. And definitely it's important to immediately cut people off once you realize this stuff is happening. I was talking to my little brother the other day, or actually it was this morning, and I was telling him how I'm cutting off so-and-so from, like, that we know, because I'm sick and tired of them. They're just a drain. They're always talking shite. They want to talk, but they don't want to do anything. They do not want to go and hang out and have a positive conversation. They want to complain about you. You don't do this. You don't do this for me. You don't do that for me. And it's just like, oh, really? Like, what are you even talking about? Like, everything is negative, and they're trying to pull you down into the negative. Silence, child. Yeah, I have never, look, if you guys have ever worked in a company with a good leader, or maybe you had a good coach or something, that is a blessing. I've never met one. I've never seen one. I have no idea where these people are hiding. Like, what do you have to do? Yeah, I mean, no, I've never met these people. I don't know. Like, in my personal life, you know, like when I was working, when I was in school, like it was never somebody who wants to like help you. It's always you against the people who want to keep you down. Yeah, like the world is dog eat dog. Like there is a sense of we can't make it, so I have to make it at your expense, which is silly because you can do good things with good people and all rise together. But people are so conditioned that everything is very limited. Every resource is so scarce that they don't want to combine for a common goal. And we've been taught since we were little that everything is about us. That, you know, like the American mentality is very me, 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 me. What do I want? You know, like you have to do this because I said so, or I'm going to tell you what to do because, you know, it's whatever I want. It's a very narcissistic, out for number one culture that we've come up in. And we're starting to see the effects of that on each other and our relationships. And I do feel like, and this is going to go back to COVID, after COVID happened, and so many of our friends and family that we thought were good friends and family, they turned, you know, they reared their ugly head and they're like, do what I say, what, you know, I'm afraid of, what the media said. So I'm going to use that fear to try to control you and try to get you to think and do what I tell you to do. And then it became this whole like crazy woke thing where you have to feel and think exactly the way I do because it's all about me. There's no nuance in the world. There's no gray area. Everything is black and white. You're either with me or against me. You're either like an ally or an enemy. And it's just like this polarizing society that we've created. So that's why so many people now feel like they're completely on their own, having to reach their goals by themselves. But you know what? It's always been like that. The problem is we had like, I guess like when I was growing up, whatever, we had like these very shallow friendships everywhere. And I think we kind of knew they were shallow, but nobody talked about it like they're doing now. So you would have these friends that like they're, if you're going through something, you know they don't care. You know they're not going to call you. They might send a text if texting was around back then or whatever they could do. But they're not going to like drop everything for you, right? Like if you're going through a breakup, they might call to get the tea because they're interested, but they're not going to like try to get you out of a depression. And people tend to learn that eventually with age, that ultimately in life, you have 99% very shallow relationships. And maybe I would say the luckiest people on earth have like 3 people to 5 people. Like you're like spectacularly, amazingly lucky. And I would call it luck and not cultivating. It's definitely luck because you need to have all the qualities and be in the right place in the right time to meet these people, to engage with these people, to maintain these people. And that takes a lot of energy over time. So one thing I've found, like some of my longest friendships and my best friends, the reason why I realized like this is a good person was because when bad things happened, they didn't just call one time. They didn't just call to get the tea. I've had friends that sent me letters, like long, like 10-page letters when I went through like a breakup or something like that to try to make me feel better, you know, like, because they couldn't come down to visit me. So they would send me letters or they would send me like, I had one time I was like really depressed postpartum or something. And I had a girlfriend who sent me a food gift basket and she was calling me every day. How are you feeling? What's going on? Whatever, even though she couldn't physically be there because, you know, she had her own kids. But like, you notice like when things are bad, like who really is a good friend. And you also notice like yourself, who you're a good friend to when things are going bad for them. Because there's sometimes where you're the asshole, okay? sometimes you're going to be the asshole, and that's totally normal because you're a human. So sometimes somebody's going to come at you with a whole bunch of problems and they're going to like throw it on you. And you're just like, you know what? I really don't care enough about you to like suffer through this with you. Like we didn't cultivate that type of give and take, and you're just trying to take from me. And then you become the asshole in their story, right? But we don't realize this when we're very young, that sometimes you are not giving enough to get, or you're giving to the people who just want to take and not give back. And people are realizing that there is definitely a reciprocity situation that goes on with cultivating good friendships, and that sometimes the people that we want to be friends with the most, or like maybe we want to date the most because we're the most attracted to or whatever, that they're not going to give us anything back because they think they're up here and you're down here. So it's not going to be back. You kind of need to find people who are like on the same page with you. And it's not always like a looks thing. Maybe for a relationship, it's a look thing. Maybe it's a money thing sometimes. Maybe it's a interest thing. Maybe like you have the same hobbies or interests. You can talk about the same things. But when it's like so different, when you're just like, I'm fascinated by this person, there's nothing for them to be fascinated about. That's when you get into these situations. Yes. This is good. I mean, this happens when you're young. It happens to everybody. What is up? Oh yeah, this is a good point. When you win, are they celebrating you, or are they kind of, you'll see with girls, you see this a lot more. They will kind of like, they'll have a pissed off face, and then they'll try to cover it up really quickly. So you got to catch it. You got to catch it. I like to tell people now something really good that happened just to see what they say. But the other thing that I notice of like people who are just like, they don't care, like they might fake enthusiasm for something good you're saying, like, oh, I just got this, and they'll be like, oh wow, that's so great, I'm so happy for you. Like they're saying the right things, but there's a tone that's off. So it's like, if you're not like happy about the response, then you're the asshole. But in reality, they're trying to give you like a tone like, oh, that's good for you. They don't really care. So there's all sorts of people. Some of them will just be immediately disgusted by you or angry. Yeah, sarcastic. Yeah. You know, it is what it is. But that's okay, because it's good to know. And the majority of people in your life are farewell acquaintances. They're not even friends. They're farewell acquaintances. While everything is going well, they will be your acquaintance. Like if there's like a party or something, like let's hang out, let's go to the fun party. But these people are not going to be there when it matters. And guys especially, and girls, are starting to notice that this applies to relationships too. So there's a lot of people who they got into marriages, they got into relationships or whatever, and then they found that people were not in it for the right reasons. Like, okay, this is a separate topic that I wanted to talk about. I'm still kind of like researching it, but some interesting stuff came out recently that talks about, because I was trying to disprove the whole looks maxing garbage. Yes, I am. Oh my gosh. So anyways, I was trying to disprove the looks maxing garbage, but then some new stuff came out, and they're showing that if you're not looks compatible with someone, there is they have a dollar sign like cost. So usually it's going to be, if it works both ways. If the girl is older and less attractive but wealthy, she would have to pay the guy X amount for the privilege of like being seen with him. Thank you, homies. And like the same is true, of course, for women. So like if the guy is older and wants to be with a younger, hotter girl, there's X amount that he needs to give her for the relationship to even happen. And this is not what we were told. We were told if you were a dude and you had a lot of money, you could buy whichever hot chick you wanted, basically, or you could marry her, right? But now we're finding that like you have to have the looks. Like you can be old and be with a younger person if you're both hot or like the same, like you're both 4s or you're both 5s or you're both 7s or you're both whatever it is. And that people who are very wealthy and are in long-term good relationships that last for their whole lives, they are looks maxed. Maybe not age maxed, but your looks are maxed, like matched. Which is interesting because I'm starting to see like a lot of the stuff that we were told when we were growing up was propaganda, Hollywood propaganda. So there was another thing that I was reading about how there was this thing on movies and shows where you would see like a very unattractive, wealthy dude with a younger, hot woman, right? And they're saying like this was like put out into the culture to encourage men, even if they were not attractive or not working on how they look, like basically your body, right? Your body is the main thing. You know, for a man, it's the body because it's a sign of health. And for the woman, it's actually also the body. Like people love a nice face, but you need to have a healthy body. And it's not like jacked for a woman, for a man. And it's not like super like thin and emaciated for a woman. So it's like, it's what people actually find attractive, right? And that's going to be just like a healthy body type, not an extreme dieter, not an extreme working out person, not an extreme anything, just like a healthy looking body. That is the ideal. So anyway, so they had all these movies and stuff like that with these older, wealthy dudes and young hot girls. And they tried to make this like normalized, but the reality, shush, Minnie. I don't even know what you're talking about. Thank you, homie. I am 50. So it happened. Actually, I think I had my first YouTube video, I want to say 20 years ago. It was a lot. Anyways, okay. What was I saying? So yeah, there was a lot of, I saw like this thing about it, like how Hollywood was promoting like older rich men with younger women. And the point of that was they were trying to encourage men to work as hard as possible with the fantasy that they would become wealthy so then they can get a young, hot girl. All of this is fantasy. It's the same thing with the like the Sex and the City, be a girl, go become a boss babe, and then you're going to get a billionaire because now you're successful. And they love an independent, successful woman, right? Like these are the lies that we have been sold to by culture. When in reality, you and the person you get with have to like each other physically to be a good match. Because now we're seeing that a lot of these billionaires with like hot younger girls, the girls have an open relationship and like they both have an open relationship. And did you guys hear about the Piers Morgan stuff? It's not good. Let me pull it up. I want to find the actual article because this chick is wild. Okay, where is it? Okay. All right. This is a real, I looked it up. This is a real article. It says, caring for my invalid husband. Piers is the biggest test of our wedding vows. I signed up to in sickness and health, but it's almost 2 weeks since he broke his hip, and my patience with my patient is wearing thin. Okay. Did somebody post it? Somebody had posted it somewhere else. But like, oh, and this is like another thing. This is her Instagram. So yes, you can get the hot young wife, but this is how she is humiliating you. And this is how she really feels about you. Look at this. This is one of her posts. Wanted pool boy, no experience, her by the pool. And then let's see this comment. You know each other so well, but I do think somehow there is a smidgen of love somewhere. You wouldn't have married him otherwise, and he's not likely to have any affair, nor you. And then she said, probably a smidgen. It's not looking good. All right. And then here we go. I think like that was like a celebrity guy. It's kind of cut off. And this is her. When the husband's away, Mr. Suds comes to play. So like we were told by movies, which of course we now know are just psyops to control us, that if you're a rich dude, you're going to find a young chick that's going to be totally like infatuated with you. But it's not true, because people are attracted to what they're attracted to. And you can't be attracted to somebody who she literally calls a hideous like old man all the time. But he's willing to humiliate himself because he worked his whole life to become successful so that he could pay this chick to basically be with him, which is just wild. So anyways, that's one of the things I've been looking at, because I wanted to debunk claviculars. You got to be looks maxed, bro. But I'm seeing that there's a little bit of truth to it. You kind of have to be looks matched with whoever you're with. And it doesn't mean you can't be different ages. There's plenty of hot old dudes that they keep themselves looking good. That's very important. Jake, I'm talking to you. You got to keep it tight. Want to keep the ladies, you got to keep it tight, right? Keep it tight. Yeah, Bruce Willis and Rob Schneider's wives. Yeah, exactly. Because remember, I think, look, Demi Moore, as soon as he started getting like old and boring, she was up and got a younger dude. And when that younger dude did what he's going to do, he's going to be with somebody who's his looks match. I keep saying max, but it's match. Of course, this is going to happen. Like this is a tale as old as time. People want to be with people they find attractive. They both want to. And money doesn't buy faithfulness. What was the percentage of men who are raising somebody else's children unbeknownst to them, right? So like, if anybody tells you that you can have enough frame to keep a woman from cheating on you, absolutely wrong. Absolutely wrong. The same with a man. You guys have to find each other attractive. It's kind of the framework of a good relationship. Do you find each other attractive? That's all. And you shouldn't aim too high, and they shouldn't aim too high. You guys need to aim at your level. And it's okay to be a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, a 5. The ideal is you're like whatever level you are, and you go down, because you're going to go down. Nobody goes up. You're going to go down the same rate, and then you'll always be in love, right? You've seen like really elderly couples and they're like so in love, they're equally chopped. That's how you know the love is real, because it's an equalness. You have to be equally chopped and equally hot together, right? Okay. Oh, Jesus. Yes. All right. So, is there anything else? Silence. Why are you here? Go do something with your friends. If I will pick you up right now. Jesus. Yeah, so I heard about the Rob Schneider thing, but look, I'm going to tell you guys something. I think there was like a clause, like I think it was like 10 years or something before she could get any money. And she waited until the 10 years so she could get that money. And yes, she had 2 kids with him, but are they his kids? Do they look like him? I don't know. I mean, I haven't looked it up. Do not listen to me. Turn this off. Anyways, so yeah. So let's look up the Rob Schneider thing. I want to see his wife, if we could find a picture. Yeah. I mean, I don't know what he thought was going to happen. Look at her. She's way cute. Look at that. Mm-hmm. It's like he looks like he's elderly now. Like, this is an elderly man. Like, you know? And you can also tell, like, the body language. She's not cuddling up with him. She's just like, I'm just here for my check. Like, ugh. He needs to be with an old ass woman that's also equally chopped. And then they would be happy together. Look, when you're this age, like he is, you can't even see. Your eyes stop working. Okay. He wouldn't even notice, but he would be with someone who actually likes him. And the idea, like, everything is looks is so stupid, because we're all going to be chopped as hell. So just be with someone who's equally chopped. Like, this looks like a picture, you know, with like her dad or something. It's very embarrassing. You know, it's a problem. I'm just saying, look, I know, like, we all love dreams, right? Dreams are really nice. The become a boss babe, spend your 20s and 30s, you know, working on your career, girl, and then you'll get a billionaire because he loves how independent you are. The billionaire will totally respect your independence. That was a lie that females were told. And the lie that men were told was work so we can extract as much labor from you. And then when you're elderly, you can get a young, hot chick and she's actually going to love you and take care of you and change your diapers. These chicks never change diapers. I just want you to keep that in mind. They're not there for the diapers. They're there for the money. This is a transactional situation. Oh, I did not know that China banned AI filters. And oh my God, I heard, like, there's a lot of weird, they were more advanced with the AI filters than we are even right now. So they had like live filters there was one where it was like a dude that was pretending to be a hot young girl working on cars, and he was a mechanic. And he's pretending to be a hot chick working on stuff. And he got millions and millions and millions of followers that would just watch her work on a car. I think that was China. Yeah. So, like, it's really bad there. Plus, there's a lot of medical fraud stuff. So I think they made it like you can't say anything about like any medications or health stuff if you don't have a medical license anymore, because people were selling, you know, fake supplements all over, and they're doing it here. So maybe we're going to get that in the future. Who knows? But even here, we have a lot of actual doctors selling snake oil supplements. So it's the Wild West right now. So we'll see. But yeah, a lot of people who have made their income on filters, like a lot of the fitness models and the influencers, you know, like the beauty influencers, the hot chick influencers. If you take away AI, I'm telling you, the whole industry will crumble overnight. They might have to go back to, do you remember Photoshop? So we had Photoshop back in the day. And I remember when I was a photographer, I did a lot of photos for influencers, right? Back when there was no AI. So I had to painstakingly edit every single photo. It would take me for like maybe 10 photos, 2-3 hours to edit them all, like to make their waist small, to like chisel some semblance of an ab, to take away all their acne, to make all their blubber cinch in. Like, I would just spend so much time. I would zoom it out to where it was like just boxes on the screen, and I'm just pixel by pixel trying to fix these chicks. And you know what? That costs a lot of money too. So like, I made good money off of doing that stuff. And then when the AI and the filters came around, they didn't need that anymore. So like, you know, we stopped making money doing that, and I stopped doing photography. But if they take away the AI filters, and they might have to go back to doing that. I don't know. But I don't think they will. I think Photoshop died or something because people stopped using it because they could just use AI for everything. You literally, like, I showed you the video. You could take one photo of somebody and make content forever on them. It's freaking crazy. It's sad, but it's the reality we live in. But anyways, yeah, tale as old as time. I don't remember Scott Adams. Let me see what's. Wait, he died? Okay. Oh my gosh. This guy thought for a second. Oh no. Wait. Okay, so this was his original wife, equally chopped. So like this was the match. If he had stayed with, look, they look alike. I'm sorry. This was the one that he should have stayed with. Look at that. He should have made this work. He probably made a lot of money when he was with his equally yoked wife. And then he switched her out for like this young hot thing. Isn't that the one that didn't Andrew Tate like say something about her, do something with her? I don't know if I remember that correctly. But yeah. Oh, so the ex-wife stood with him in hospice and the young one left. Of course. You guys thought it was going to end any other way? Because remember, when you're equally yoked, whatever you call it, when you're equally yoked with each other and you want to be with each other, it's because you love each other. It's like you actually care about each other. And not saying you're not going to fight, you're not going to have problems, but the problem with like these, home wrecker type people is they are there for the money. They are there to get money, access to money and fame as quickly as possible. And if they can get that money and fame and poison you and be done with you and like move on, like they will. Like these are succubi. We've talked about succubi before. It's a real thing. Yes, he's a very good looking little boy. But I think we're pretty equal, okay? No, you guys don't agree, but I feel like we're really equal. We're very equal. We're very happy. Like, we're not out there going, I could do better. Or like, maybe if I get more money. Listen, Jake, you need to do some sit-ups, okay? That's all I'm saying. Everybody tell Jake he needs to do sit-ups because Yes. Anyways, so that's Scott Adams. Poor thing. Did he die? Dies at 68. Is this true? Yeah, he's dead. Yeah. See, a succubi will kill you. Proven. Minnie, that is a Mexican. Say something mean to the Mexican. This one is a Mexican. She does this really good, like, impression of Trump. Like, what's it called? What is it? Like, go back over the border? I don't remember. Okay. I don't remember. Anyways, so is there anything else you guys want to talk about? Anything new happen? I saw that Candace Owens did some interview with some dude, and I saw a clip of it. And what? Anyways, I saw a clip of it, and she was basically talking with some dude that was on yesterday, and they were saying that, like, joking about how Erica Kirk killed Charlie Kirk or whatever. And they were laughing about it. And then I saw a clip about Erica Kirk a few days, like 2 weeks after Charlie passed away. And she's talking about like how much money they made off of merch after, like, on the event after he passed away. And like, thanks for selling so much t-shirts. And we sold at least 20,000 in this. And it's just like so wild that like, and I don't want to say anything. Jake, I know you hate to hear this. I know you hate to, because you have not been working on your fitness like a good boy. And, you know, Mexicans are supposed to be hard workers. So, you know, get down and give us 20 because this is getting a little out of hand. But anyways, so yeah, I don't know. I don't want to be mean to Charlie Kirk. You know, it's not good to talk ill of the dead, but he was kind of chopped. He had a huge head and like a tiny face. It's very unattractive. And even though Erica Kirk was an old hot girl, she was still a pretty hot girl. And you know, like once they're hot, like they always feel hot. So like it didn't make sense that she was with him. And then when you see like she's around like her ex-boyfriend and stuff like that, and I think she's dating somebody now, they look way hotter than Charlie did. So it's just like, I'm just saying, look, date and marry someone who's your looks equal if you don't want to get poisoned. That's all. Yes, tell him, sweetheart. Yeah, even though she was older, you know, like she used to be very hot. And even when a woman ages, they still feel the same. It doesn't go away. Plus, he was never good looking. I don't want to, you know, say anything mean to him, but he was never a good looking guy. So it is what it is. And she immediately got someone who's very cute afterwards. I think like she's dating somebody who's cute now. Like I've been looking at the gossip online, and like if it's true that she's dating this other guy, that's a cuter guy. You know, he doesn't have the huge head with the teeny little face on it. And I would just say, like, I don't know, did anybody check who the kids' fathers were? Like, we need to know that. We don't know. Yeah. Listen, Mexican, relax. You know if they're equally yoked. Like, look, like the CIA people always tell you, if you're sitting there and like someone who's way hotter than you're used to dating and having come up to you, tries to like hit on you, it's probably like a setup. It's a honeypot. It is what it is. And if you ever get any money and then meet the love of your life right after you got money, that's what it is. And if you have to lead with money, or if you have to tell them how much money you have in order for them to date you, that's what it is. The interesting thing about chicks is that they will definitely not care how much money you have, as long as you have a job, if you are their type. So like when I met Steve, he had a job, but he wasn't wealthy. And if I wanted to do something, I would just tell him, I'll pay. So I was like, you know, what is it? Like I was sugar daddying him because I was like, you know, I'm attracted to you, so I will pay sometimes too. It's not a transactional relationship, right? Like he would pay and then I would pay, and we were pretty much equal. Like sometimes he would take me out, and if he's like, I got to save up, then I'd be, I'll take you out. And then it was back and forth. It was very, very equal. And that's how you know you're equally yoked. That's what I would do. Charlie, no offense to him again, but he's a 5 at best. At best, a 4 probably. Like the face, the head, the sheer girth of the head. I feel like it's kind of weird. No. It's not what you think. It's reciprocity, right? Girls spend money with no problem as long as you're not like no job if they like you. And whoever's like, oh, you don't have money to go out this weekend, I'll pay. That's how you know she likes you. That's it. There's no secret formula to it. Just if sometimes she's willing to pay to hang out with you, she likes you. And that's it. Can you stop with this black pill stuff, Simperius? I was not a 5, Jakey, okay? Let me show you. Let me show you what Steven looked like when he was a sexy little boy. Look at that. Look how cute he was when he was a little kid. Yes. See? That's my looks, Max, you Mexican whore. Anyways, that's all I wanted to talk about today. I just wanted to like hang out a little bit and talk some shite. So we did that. We have accomplished our goals. And I am probably taking out the boy this weekend. So I don't know if I'm going to do a stream. And if I do, it's going to be later at night. The sit to stand test. I mean, I can sit and stand. Do I have to jump? Let me look it up. What's the sit and stand test? Sit and stand test. It's a thing. Okay. Okay, let's see what it is. I'm going to play it with no sound because I don't want no problems. Okay. Let's see. What am I supposed to do? Okay. Okay. Well, I squat 100 squats every day. And I know it's like bad for your knees, but like I squat every day. So I could definitely I could definitely do this. This is not hard. I would like to video Steven doing this though. Once I get into the squat position, I'm good to go. In 30 seconds, yeah. I mean, we'll test it out and I'll let you guys know if we did it well this weekend. Anyways, I'll see you guys next time. Have a lovely rest of your day and weekend, and I'll probably see you tomorrow, but a little bit later because we have to go to a nice restaurant to eat because we're celebrating the boy. Okay, no chair. We won't use a chair. I got it. Good night, guys. Bye.
The old gods whisper tongues of sin. They crawl through culture to pull you in. Don't be for sale, don't wear their grin. The old are rotten, don't let them win. Eyes and nets and mirrored glass. They promised youth, they cursed your past. You drank the